Okay, so we'll get started. So sit in a way that allows your feet to be flat on the ground. Rest your hands wherever they're comfortable so that your shoulders can soften. And then you can allow your eyes to soften or close. And begin by simply bringing your attention inwards and taking a little bit of time to just notice how you feel. Noticing how you feel in your body, in your mind, in your energy level. And then bringing your attention to your breath and just check in here as well without needing to change anything. Just notice how your breath feels. And maybe get curious here. Notice where you feel your breath in your body. So you might notice a little more of a feeling of moving, either a movement of your body or the movement of air. Perhaps it will be at your nostrils, just feeling cool air coming in and warmer air moving out. Or it could be the movement of your chest, expanding gently with your inhales and settling back down with your exhales. Or maybe you notice it a bit more in the movement of your belly, the gentle rise and fall as you breathe in and out. And now we'll do a little bit more with our breath. This time we'll use our yoga strap or scarf or belt, whatever you've got handy. I'm going to make mine nice and long here. What we'll do is bring it around the back of our rib cage like this. And once you've got that kind of up underneath your armpits like this, then cross the ends over and just hold the strap so that you're putting some gentle pressure onto it. So you can feel the strap or the scarf or the belt on the sides of your ribs. And then just breathe. You might notice the strap gives you a little bit of feedback, so you can feel the sides, maybe even the back of your rib cage expanding with your inhales. And we'll just breathe here, just noticing that gentle movement that comes along with your breath. And when you're ready, we'll let this one go. Set the strap off to the side. Take a moment to just move any way you'd like. And then just briefly tune in again. See how you feel after a few moments of just tuning in and breathing easily. And now let's begin to move. With an inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Draw your palms together, and with an exhale, trace your hands down the center line of your body. Let's do that a few more times, following your inhales up and drawing down along with your exhales. And the next time your hands come down to rest at the center of your chest, keep them here. And on an inhale, send your right arm up and your left down, just reaching them away from each other. Exhale, come back to center, and then follow your inhale over to the other side. And keep going side to side a few times. Inhales to reach long, and exhales to return to center. And when you're ready to let this one go, just release your arms, shake them out. Nice. Bring them back to rest. Now let's move our spine a little bit. We'll stay with the rhythm of our breath here for a little more. As you inhale, arch your back, roll your shoulders back, maybe look up just a bit. And as you exhale, round through your back and curl in a little bit. And then just keep going with your breath. Inhaling to arch forward and open your chest. Exhaling to round in. And then come on back to a more neutral spine. And let's move our legs a little bit. So let's just march our legs out. And as you march, you can bring in your arms if you like. So the opposite arm can reach forward as each knee lifts. As you march, try to keep your spine nice and neutral so you're not curling back as you do this. And then let it go. Come on back to a more neutral position. Nice. All right, let's just give our shoulders a little bit of a roll. And you can roll them in the other direction if you like. Nice. Let that go. Let your shoulders soften. And then bring one hand to your low ribs on the front of your body. Just find where they are, somewhere around here. And now we're going to do a shoulder roll on the other side. So starting to do your shoulder rolls. You might notice if you make your shoulder roll really big that your ribs want to move along with it. So see if you can do your shoulder rolls so that your ribs can stay nice and still. See if you can breathe easy at the same time. Maybe go the other way a couple of times, see how that side feels. Nice, let this one go. And we'll switch sides, same thing. So just small movements. When you try to keep your ribs nice and still, it might get even smaller, and that's okay. Breathe easy as you go. Maybe try this the other way. And then let it go. Shake it out. Nice. All right. Let's roll both of our shoulders back together this time. And before you do, see if there's a little bit of space behind your back so that you're not right up on the back of your chair. And then both shoulders at the same time. Lift them up and draw them back. And then pull them down your back. So if you could pull your shoulder blades down your back. And here your ribs might be popping forward a bit, and that's fine. Keep your shoulders up and back and bring your hands back behind you. You can either interlace your fingers behind you or you can just rest your hands on your low back. Just whatever is more comfortable for you. And we'll stay here. If your shoulders want to fall forward, try to keep them up and back. And if you want, you can add another piece and try to pull your elbows a little closer to each other. See if that gives you a bit more stretch in your upper chest. And let's keep our arms and shoulders like this and add a neck stretch. Just drop your right ear a little closer to your right shoulder. Allowing your shoulders to stay soft so they're not lifting up towards your ears, and allowing your head to feel heavy. And now just turn your nose down towards your shoulder a little bit. See if that changes your stretch. We'll stick here for a breath or two. And then we'll slowly let this go. Let your head just drop down. Release your hands, bring your arms forward. Let your head be heavy in this position. And then come on back up. Nice. Give your shoulders a little bit of movement if you'd like. And then bring your arms out in front. We're just going to bend our elbows and hold on to our opposite shoulders. Nice. You're giving yourself a little bit of a hug. Make your spine just a little bit longer. And then keeping this hug position, let's just do some tiny twists. Just think about turning your ribs just a tiny bit side to side. And then come on back to center. Release your arms. Nice. All right. And let's roll our shoulders up and back again. So when you're ready, draw them up, send them back, draw them down your back, and then bring your hands back behind. And now if you've got your fingers interlaced, just notice which pinky finger's on the bottom and then switch the interlace so the other pinky finger's on the bottom, if you can. Takes a little coordination to find that sometimes. Nice. And again, notice your shoulders. If they've fallen forward, can you pick them up, draw them back and down? Maybe pull your elbows a little closer to each other. See if that changes the stretch. And let's add our neck stretch on the other side. First, just let your ear drop a little closer to your shoulder. Let your shoulders stay soft. Let your head feel heavy. And then turn your nose down towards your shoulder for another breath or two. And then let it go again. Release your hands. Let your head hang down. And with an inhale, come all the way back up. Nice. Have any little movements that you'd like. Awesome. Okay. And now when you're ready, you can interlace your fingers in front of you and just bring them to the back of your head. Nice. When you're ready, when you've got this shape, make your spine nice and neutral. So you're sitting in a nice alert posture, but then soften the tops of your shoulders a little bit. Look straight ahead and just press your head back into your hands. And soften, and try that a few more times. If you could just send the center of the back of your head back into your hands. And then let it go. Release your hands, shake them out. Nice. All right. Take a moment here, rest your hands, soften your shoulders. Just return to your breath, taking a pause. All right, and let's move our spine a little bit more. So let's do a few more of those cat and cow movements. Perhaps moving with your breath again if you like. Inhale, arch your back, look up. You can roll your shoulders back as well if that feels like it suits this movement. And then with an exhale, curling in. Maybe your shoulders want to roll forward here and keep going. And come back to a neutral spine. Lovely. All right, bring your right hand down to the side of your chair and add some length to your spine. We're going to go into a side bend, and for this one, sometimes I like to step my feet a little wider apart, get kind of a broader base. And then with your next inhale, bring the other arm up. And as you exhale, go into your side bend. Trying to keep your feet and your seat connected to the ground and the chair. And with an inhale, come on back up. Bring your right arm up, reach up. Send your left hand down. And again, nice long spine. With your next exhale, we'll go over into our side bend and stay here for a breath or two. And when you're ready, come back up. Again, reach up. Maybe you can interlace your fingers here again. Flip your palms around and reach up. And then release. Give your arms a little shake. Maybe give your shoulders some more little circles. Nice. All right. Now let's grab our blocks. Blocks or whatever household substitutes for blocks you have. And you can set one down and have the other one in your hands. And we'll take that block and just bring it between your knees. And so you can be using, if you're at home, you can be using your shoe boxes or a book, or even roll up a blanket kind of so that it's roughly the same size. And all we're going to do here is press our knees gently into the block so that you can hold it in place. And then bring your hands up to find the sides of your ribs. And we'll do a tiny little twist here again. So start by bringing a bit of length to your spine. And with your hands at your ribs, you can notice when you lengthen if you go into a bit of an arched position. So try to lengthen without that. So your spine can, or your ribs, sorry, can stay nice and neutral. And with an exhale, turn your ribs over to one side of our twist. And as you inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, go the other way. And now we'll keep going side to side. And the whole time, your knees are pressing into the block. And this just helps your lower body to stay nice and still. So the twist is happening at your upper body. And we'll let this one go when you're ready. Relax your arms. We'll keep that block handy. So if you have something in the shape of a block or a shoebox, we can use it, and we're just going to hold it kind of like this. And if you don't have a block or anything that's in the shape that you could hold with your elbows, you can just have your elbows kind of in that shape and interlace your fingers. So whatever version of it you've got, we're just going to bring our elbows up in front of us like this. Nice. All right, so I've got my elbows kind of in the center of the block, just anywhere that you can hold it in place, just like we did with our knees, just gently leaning your elbows into the block so you can hold it there. And now we're just going to lift and lower, trying to bring the block up kind of towards your forehead and send it back down, gently pressing to hold the block in place the whole way through. And then we'll let this go. Set it down. You can bring it all the way down to the ground. Give your arms a shake. Nice. All right, rest your hands. Take a moment to just breathe. And you can tune in here again. Just notice how you feel. Notice the effects of some of these movements in your body. All right. Now we'll head into a forward fold. So you might like to have your blocks close to the sides of your feet for this. And I like to have my feet a little wider for a forward fold as well. And we'll begin with our spine again. So add some length to your spine. Same thing as before, without popping your ribs forward if you can help it. Just keep your spine fairly neutral and lengthen at the same time. And to begin with, we're just going to hinge at our hips and try to allow your spine to stay neutral as you fold forward. See how far you can go without curling forward in your spine. And now you can choose. You can either stay here, maybe just letting your head hang down, or if your back feels good today, you can curl farther forward and bring your hands down to your blocks or the ground. And just let your head hang down here. And with your next inhale, come back about halfway. Bring your head in line with your spine. Can you add a little bit more length to your spine in this position? And with an exhale, we'll go back to our forward fold, either just letting your head hang down or curling all the way down. And with your next inhale, come all the way back up to sitting upright. All right, and here let's move our legs again. Same thing, march them out. Maybe add the arms in here if you like. Try again to keep your spine nice and neutral so you're not collapsing backwards as you march. And then you can just stick with your march, keeping going just like this, or you can pause with one arm and one leg lifted and keep your spine nice and long. And keep marching. And then the other side. Trying to keep that sense of alertness in your spine as you pause. And a little bit more of a march. And then back to stillness. Nice. Take a moment, move any way you'd like. All right. Let's do a little bit more movement for our arms and shoulders. So again, bring one hand to your low ribs on the front of you. Take the other arm out by your side. And we're just going to do some little circles. So with your arm nice and straight, start by circling up and back. And just start with teeny tiny circles. And as you go, gradually make your circles a little bigger. Breathe nice and easy. And with the other hand on your ribs, you can notice if your ribs can stay still or if they want to move. Start off by just moving your arm only as far as you can while allowing your ribs to stay nice and still. And now you can stick with this movement or you can add another piece. And this is to add a bit of a twist. So as your arm comes up to the top, you can twist your ribs to the side, bring your arm all the way back around and through. And do some of those big circles with the twist. And then let it go. Shake out your arm. Now let's do that on the other side. So start small again, circling up and back. Breathe easy as you explore. What range of movement do you have in this shoulder without using your ribs? And then if you like, you can bring that little twisty movement in. Nice big wide circles. And letting it go when you're ready. A little bit of a shake out maybe. Nice. All right, let everything rest. Just pause, breathe. All right, and let's give our hips and our legs a little more attention. So we'll do some knee lifts here. You can either just hold on to the back of your thigh to lift and lower, or you can grab one of your blocks or books or whatever you've got handy at home and rest your foot on the block. And then the option here is to just lift your heel up and down rather than lifting your whole foot up and down. So choose the version that suits you. And let's do this a few times. Lifting up towards your chest and lowering down. If you're just using your hands, you can let your leg feel a little heavy as you lower it down. See what suits you today. And then come back to a more neutral position with your leg, and we'll do some circles here. So if you have your foot on the block, you can keep your toes on the block and just make some circles with your knee. You can circle the other way a few times if you like. And then place your foot back down. Let's do a little bit of wiggly movements in our feet and legs. Nice. And then same thing on the other side. So grab that block if you'd like to use it. And when you're ready, lift and lower. And then add your circles when you're ready. Go the other way a few times. And let it go. Replace your foot on the ground. Have a bit of wiggly movements. Lovely. All right. Let's grab one block or whatever you've got and bring it out in front of you like this. And then grab your strap or your belt or your scarf. So we'll stretch one leg out so that your heel can rest on the block, and then bring that strap around the bottom of your foot. Nice. All right. So all we're going to do here is flex our feet. So try to point your toes a little bit more up towards the ceiling. Nice. At the same time, try to press out through your heel as if you could make your leg a little bit longer. And then you have the option to leave your foot on the block here or lift it up. See what suits you best, and we'll stay here for a few breaths. Wherever you are, use the other foot for support, pressing gently into the ground. And then soften. Bring your heel back down if it's been lifted. Take a breath. Nice. And now bring the strap into just the same hand as leg. And we're going to do some rotations here. So we're going to rotate the whole leg. Think about that movement coming from your hip joint, not from your foot or your knee. And your heel can be on the block or it can be lifted. And the whole leg can spin in and out like this. I like to think about this as a movement of this upper leg bone rotating in the hip socket. And as you go with the other hand, you can have it on your hip or just on your lap here so you can notice what's happening in your pelvis as you rotate. If there's any sense of shifting side to side or lifting up off the chair, then make your rotation smaller so that it's just a leg movement, not a whole hip and pelvis movement. And then stay in external rotation with your toes turned out like this. And you can stay right here, or you can move your leg out to the side a little bit like this and use the strap for some support to stay here. Nice. Pushing the other foot down. Press that outstretched foot into the strap. And then come on back in and bring your foot back down. Nice. Take the strap away. Relax your leg. Have a bit of movement. Awesome. Maybe a little bit of a small march in your legs before we switch sides. And then let that go. Pause here. Just notice, can you sense the difference between one leg and the other, one hip and the other? You might notice after we do some of those movements that you've stretched and moved, or you might feel that something hurts. Maybe you've gone a little too far. So it's good information because we do this movement all the time. And it can vary day to day, but tune in, really notice what's happening in your body. So heading over to the other side when you're ready. Once you've got yourself situated here, flex your foot. Try to point your toes straight up. At the same time, reach out through your heel. And then you can keep your heel on the block or you can lift it up. Nice. Bonus points here. You can notice what's happening in your spine. If you're leaning back or collapsing back, can you keep your spine more neutral? Use your core muscles to support your leg a little bit more. Add a bit of a sense of lifting through your core. And then soften, bring it back down. Nice. Bring that strap into the same hand as leg and breathe. Nice. And then bring your leg back up if you have it lifted, or you can keep your heel down. And we'll do our rotation on this side. So same thing. Think about your upper leg bone doing the movement here. Your other hand can give you some feedback. If your pelvis is rocking side to side, or even if your torso is rocking side to side, just get curious. Can you keep your spine long? Can you feel as if you can lift up through your belly, through your core? And then pause in external rotation, either with your heel on your block or lifted, doesn't matter. Stay right here, or you can move your leg out to the side. Remember, use the other foot for support. Use the strap for support, and take a breath. Coming back in when you're ready. Release your legs, set the strap away to the side. See what kind of movement your legs would like here. I might like a few more circles after that one. Nice. Come on back to a nice, settled, grounded posture. Feet on the floor, shoulders soft. Take a breath. Let's move our spine a little bit more here. We'll do a few rounds of cat and cow again. With your inhale, arch your back, roll your shoulders back. With your exhale, round your back, curling in. And we'll keep following your breath a few more times. And then find your neutral again. All right, how's everyone doing? All right. Okay. So I thought we'd try some seated lunges and warriors today. So for this one, I like to get my blocks moved out of the way. And we'll need some space around the front and the sides of our chair. Okay, let's start by turning to the right. So position yourself so that your knees are both pointing over to the right. Your right hand can be holding the back of your chair. And then scooch over so that your right leg and seat is on the chair and left leg is floating. Nice. And your right foot is going to stay planted on the ground the whole time, and the other leg's going to move. So there's two options here. One is to keep your knee bent and just slide your foot back like this. You're coming into a bit of a lunge shape. The other option is to bring your leg out to the side like this, and it can be anywhere that feels comfortable for you. I'm going to show you this version today, but either one will work. And you can have your knee pointing down to the ground if you're taking this option, or you can actually slide your leg back a little bit more. It's totally up to you. See what feels the most comfortable for you. Nice. All right. Feel that front foot on the ground. The other foot or the other toes on the ground. Just try to press them down into the ground a little bit and at the same time squeeze them towards each other. See if you can feel the muscles in your legs start to wake up when you do that. And then you can stay right here or you can lift your left arm up for a breath or two. And then bring your hand back down. Rest your hand on your hip. And now keep your right leg right where it is, but turn your torso to face a little bit more to the front. And this back leg will roll a little bit out like this when you do it. So try to position yourself so that leg can be fairly straight and the whole left foot can be on the ground. Nice. So wherever you are here, again, push your feet down into the ground and pull them towards each other. See if the muscles in your legs wake up when you do that. Awesome. And from here, we'll add our warrior two arms. So I like to check here if my torso is leaning forward or if it's fairly upright. Try and make myself fairly upright here. And then bring your arms out parallel to the ground like this. Looking out over your right fingertips. Take a breath or two. And now we'll shift from warrior two into extended side angle. So for this one, bring your right forearm down to rest on your leg. And the other arm can come up towards the ceiling or even over a little bit like this. You might like to imagine that you can create a straight line from your left fingertips down to your left heel. Keep pressing your feet down into the ground and pulling them towards each other at the same time. And then come back upright. Come back to your warrior two. Nice. Bring your left hand down to rest somewhere in your left leg. Nice. Reach the other one up towards the ceiling. And here we'll head into a sun warrior. So you might stay right here if that's the most comfortable, or you can come into a bit of a side bend. And breathe here. And then back up to warrior two. Nice. Now we're going to go back and forth between these a few times. So when you're ready, coming forward into extended side angle. And then back to warrior two. And then back to our sun warrior. And now just keep going back and forth between these three different poses at your own pace. The next time you come back to warrior two, we'll stay here. And just bring your hands back down to your hips and gently slide your left leg back in. So you're coming back to sit with your knees pointing over to the right. And this time, scoot yourself over so that you're as much on your seat as you can. Nice. And now we're going to do a little bit of a twist here. I'm going to turn my chair so I'm not facing away from you. All right, so our right hand is still on the back of the chair, and your left, both of your legs are pointing over to the right. Try and have them kind of squeezing in towards each other. They don't have to be touching, but just imagine you still have that block between your knees and you're still holding it in place. Awesome. Once you've got that shape, bring your attention to your spine, adding a bit of length to your spine. With an inhale, lift your left arm up. And as you exhale, turn your ribs towards the back of your chair and you bring your left arm down. Maybe you can rest it on your right leg. And we'll take a breath or two just like this. And then slowly come back to a more neutral spine. Nice. Okay. And shimmy around so that you are facing towards the front again. And you might like to give your spine or your legs or your hips or anything a little bit of a wiggle here. How's everyone feeling? All right. Okay. All right. Let's do that series on the other side. So turning over to face towards the left. And you can notice again, what is your body saying to you? If your feedback that's coming is that that was a little too much, feel free to reposition in any of those poses so that it feels a little more comfortable for your body. So starting with your left side on the chair and your right leg totally off the chair, and hold on to the back of your chair so that you're nice and supported. Your left foot is firmly on the ground and your right can slide back, either coming out to the side like this or sliding your foot straight back so that your knee is pointing down to the ground, or even stretching back behind you a little bit. Find the shape that actually works for you. Check in with your knees, check in with your hips. Lovely. Press your feet down into the ground, pull them towards each other. Maybe you can lift your arm up towards the ceiling and breathe. And then bring your hand back down to your hip. And we'll open up into our warrior two shape. So your left leg's going to stay right where it is, but turn your torso to face towards the front and let the back leg kind of turn out naturally as you do. Reposition however you need to feel fairly comfortable and supported, even in this awkward shape. Nice. And then push your feet down into the ground. At the same time, squeeze them towards each other. See if you can feel your legs starting to wake up when you do that. Check in with your torso. If you're over here, can you get yourself a little bit more upright? And then bring your arms into our warrior two shape. Beautiful. Let's stay here for a breath or two. Notice if your shoulders are scrunched up towards your ears, can you soften them a little bit? Is there space to do that? Now let's go into our extended side angle, bringing your left arm down to your leg, reach the other arm up and over. Feet, legs still strong, even as you lift up and out through your hand. And then come back up to your warrior two shape, arms parallel to the ground. And then bring the back hand down to rest, wherever it reaches on your leg. Reach the other arm up towards the ceiling. And again, choose to stay right here for your sun warrior or add a little bit of a side bend. Breathe easy here. And then make your way back to your warrior two. Nice. And now we'll move through these 3 different poses. Just go at your own pace. Even though we're sitting on the chair, try to remember your legs and your feet, keeping them engaged, pressing down into the ground and pulling them towards each other. Imagine that you're standing and you've got to keep yourself balanced with your legs. The next time you come to warrior two, we'll pause here and then bring your arms back down. Slide the back leg in and turn your knees to face towards the side again. And scooch over so that you are as much on the seat of your chair as you can. And let's finish off with our twist. So both feet on the ground. Knees don't have to be touching, but draw them towards each other as if you were holding a block in place. With one hand on the back of your chair, add some length to your spine. Try to do so without popping your ribs forward if you can. Try and keep that spine nice and neutral, but long. And now we'll move with our breath to go into the twist. As you inhale, bring the other arm up. And as you exhale, turn your ribs into the twist, trying to face a little bit more towards the back of your chair. And then bring your arm down to rest on your leg when you're ready. And take a few breaths here. And when you are ready, maybe with an inhale, come back to center. Let your lungs fill with air. And then come all the way around to facing forward. Nice. Move and stretch any part of you that would like some movement. Nice. Take a moment of stillness here. Resting your hands, softening your shoulders. As you breathe easy, just notice, how do you feel? All right. And we are ready for Shavasana, for our resting pose. So you're welcome to stay seated in your chair and just get yourself as comfortable as you can. If you do stay in your chair, I always like to bring something underneath my feet so that you can really lean back into the support of your chair. Or you're welcome to come down to laying on the ground. So just take your time to get yourself situated, grabbing any blankets or pillows that might help you to feel more comfortable. And while you get set up, I will turn the lights down. So in whatever position that you've chosen, take a moment to make any little adjustments that might help you to feel more comfortable. And then take a few deeper breaths. Maybe imagining that sense of your ribs expanding with your inhales, settling with your exhales. And then allow your body to just relax into the position that you're in. Sense into the weight and the volume of your body. And notice if there's any part of you that's trying to hold yourself up. And see if you can soften a bit, let that go, and just allow the ground or your chair to support the weight of your body. Allowing your body to have its weight. And for the next few minutes, you have nothing to do, nowhere to go, no problems to solve. Just allow yourself permission to let go and rest.